Hi everyone, my name is Nathan from jazzguitarlessons.net, and in today's lesson I'm going to be showing you how to improve your comping with essential tones. Now this concept was first used by pianists such as Bill Evans, and later adapted for guitar by the likes of Lenny Breau and Ed Bickert. Learning essential tones will give you a much greater knowledge of the fretboard and also allow you to access extensions such as ninths, 11ths, and 13ths without the need to learn hundreds upon hundreds of chord voicings. So what are essential tones? Well, I'm really glad you presumably asked. They are, simply put, the heart of any chord. They're the minimum amount of information required to identify the quality of that chord. For example, major 7th or minor 7th flat 5, etc. In jazz, we're typically playing 7th chords, which involve the root, 3rd, 5th, and 7th of the chord. Here, the essential tones are the 3rd and the 7th, and you can pretty much get away with just playing those two notes instead of a full voicing. Another name you may have heard for these notes is guide tones. The easiest way to get started on playing essential tones is to take it one chord quality at a time. This video covers the topic of dominant 7th chords plus different extensions and altered extensions, but we'll probably cover other types of chord qualities in a future video. To begin with, let's comp through a B-flat blues using shell voicings, which you're probably already familiar with. If not, don't worry, you can probably learn them very quickly using the PDF that you can download from the blog associated with this lesson. Okay, so why are we using these shell voicings in order to find essential tones? Well, it turns out that those essential tones we're looking for are located on the 3rd and 4th strings of the guitar, no matter which shell voicing you actually use. This makes it surprisingly easy to find those essential tones in relation to the root of each chord, which happens to be in the bass position on the 5th string or the 4th string of the guitar. If at this point you can't see those essential tones confidently yet, then try playing them separate from the bass. So bass first and then essential tones right afterwards. I'll show you an example. Okay, now let's take a final leap of faith here and remove the bass note entirely so that all you're left with is essential tones, and that's it. We're going to go through one chorus of the B-flat blues once more, and I encourage you to ad-lib the rhythms to make it more interesting. You can play in or around me in this next example. As you play through and revisit this example to nail it down, I want you to make sure that you keep on visualizing the root of each chord underneath those guide tones, just to really drive the point home. Okay, so what now? Well, you may have noticed that you freed up your fingers quite a bit by playing just the essential tones. No root, no 5th, nothing else. We're going to now add back in extensions like the 9th, 11th, and 13th of the chord in order to give our comping a little bit more of a melodic element, kind of like Lenny Breau and Ed Bickert. there's a very simple chromatic scale pattern that we can use over these essential chord tone shapes in order to access all the typical dominant chord extensions. It looks and sounds like this. Now if we add that scale pattern above our B-flat 7 essential tones, here's what we get. Here's the shell voicing for B-flat 7 for reference. And now we'll play the extensions. First the flat 5th, and then a half step above that, on the 6th fret, we have the natural 5th, then the sharp 5 or the flat 13, and then the natural 13. On the next string, we have a different set of extensions. We have the root, and then the flat 9, and then the natural 9, and then the sharp 9. Notice that I'm actually muting the second string in all of this. Try playing the essential tones broken up from the extensions. Now, you'll notice at this point that this is the pattern of extensions that you'll get when playing this scale pattern above the B-flat 7 essential tone chords. Now, this scale pattern will work to create extensions on all of the essential tone shapes we worked on before. However, for the E-flat 7, the F7, and the G7, and other chords with roots on the 5th string, you'll get a different pattern of extensions, like so. So this is the similar scale pattern, but this time over an E-flat 7 chord. So here are the essential tones, and here are the scale extensions. There's the root, the flat 9 of E-flat 7, the 9, the sharp 9. Then we also have the flat 5, the 5, natural 5, the sharp 5 or flat 13, and then the 13. Once again, I'm muting the second string on this second set. Now you might notice that compared to the B-flat 7 extensions, the E-flat 7 extensions are actually swapped around from the first string to the second string, and vice versa. So for example, in the E-flat 7, you get your root and then your 9th extensions on the second string instead of the first string, whereas you get your 5th and 13th extensions on the first string, instead of the second string. With the B-flat 7, it's the opposite. However, if it's getting a little too confusing at this point in terms of the theory behind it all, of extensions and altered extensions, don't worry about it too much. I'd rather that you get a melodic component into your playing right off the bat, and that's the real purpose of all of this. Okay, now this is what we've been waiting for. Now that we know where all of the extensions are above our essential tone shapes, we can use them to add a melodic element into our comping. We're going to revisit the B-flat blues, and we're going to add one extension note into our playing. Once again, you can download the sheet music for that example on the blog. Alright, now for our final example. We're going to take example 5 that we just played, but we're going to add one more extension to each of those shapes. And that's it for our lesson today. Once these concepts have started sinking in, I want you to try playing your own improvised comp over the B-flat blues, or even E-flat blues, using just essential tone shapes, or even essential tones with extensions. If you get good enough at this concept, you can actually start using it to create your own chord solos. Once again, I'm Nathan from jazzguitarlessons.net. Improve your jazz guitar with a real jazz guitar teacher. Until next time, thank you for watching, and happy shedding!